Think Young Women, in partnership with the Girls Agenda and the Women in Liberation and Leadership Wheel, has successfully concluded a 3-day training on female genital mutilation and sexual and gender-based violence for journalists. The training, held from the 18th to the 20th of December at a local hotel in Kololi, brought together 40 journalists from the print, television, radio, and online media platforms. It aimed to equip participants with the skills and knowledge needed to report responsibly, ethically, and sensitively on issues related to SGBV and FGM. Speaking to journalists after the training, media specialist Abdullah Jao emphasized the need to clearly differentiate between religious teachings and cultural practices. He stressed that Islam is a religion of peace and does not promote harm or torture on women and girls.
We all understand, we are, practicing Muslims. We understand Islam, when anything that has to do with hurt people is not part of Islam. Islam doesn't hurt. Islam preaches peace and tolerance, and the list goes on and on. So if you're that person who's been living in denial, here during these past 3 days, it has not only been people standing in front of us telling us stories, but we have heard from some of our even colleagues in the media sharing their experience. I get that serve as an open eye for me to continue advocating for anti-FGM, to see exactly how can we have a safe society for women and protect our young ones.
Aisha Wada, a Wolof News presenter at King FM, shared that the training has significantly changed her perception on FGM. She stated that she is now more informed about its harmful effects and pledged that if she has a female child, she will not allow her to undergo FGM.
Me myself, I was like, no, these people just advocating and saying FGM is this and that would not stop me from taking my child through this process, because I have gone through the process myself. But after some of them, the victims that suffered the same thing, that went through the procedures of FGM, have said their own side of the story, the complications that they have. It really touched my heart, and then it changed a lot in me towards how I used to see FGM. And after having this training, now the way that I see FGM, and then I have vowed, after seeing these people tell me their own part of the story, honestly, I have vowed that I can never and ever allow my child to undergo FGM after like seeing the victims themselves speak out. Because most of the time I just see these activists talk like this, FGM is this, FGM is that. I didn't believe it, but hearing it from them themselves that went through the process and it is giving them complications, I rather die than see my child go through that process.
Speaking on behalf of the Women in Liberation and Leadership Wheel, Aisatuba explained that the training was organized to help journalists better understand and adhere to ethical reporting standards. She urged media practitioners to produce stories that are survivor and victim-centered while avoiding giving undue attention or relevance to perpetrators.
Because I've realized that in Gambia, many journalists don't do ethical reporting. And in their reporting, in many cases, they reveal the victim and protect the perpetrator. And that is something that is traumatizing. And at the end of the day, it leads to victim blaming. And when victim blaming is done, for the survivor or for the victim to heal, it is sometimes very, very difficult. Because people will not look at what the perpetrator did. The only thing they will look at it, what did the victim do until it ends to this.
The organizers express hope that the training will contribute to more informed, ethical, and impactful media coverage in the fight against SGBV and FGM. Binta S. Jao, Bessel Media.